Hi! It's the freshest cookies. This cookie is a Minecrafting cookie. This cookie ain't stale. This cookie is fresh. And we are now going to call this Cookies Through the Ages. Because we are playing sevtech of Ages. And so, in our first video, we said we were going to do a video on the Bronze Age, which is Welcome to Age 1. Looking back, you come into the world with nothing, not even the burlap sack that comes with Discovery Channel, and it's Naked and Afraid. At least you have a sack. This, you come in with nothing. You break branches, you get sticks, you get stones, you make whatever, you get you get gravel, you get flint, you flake your flint, and we're going to do the Flint Hatchet. This is the recipe for our Flint Hatchet. You had to have your flaked flint, you sieved out your gravel, you got your piece of flint, you banged it against rock or cobblestone, and it became flaked flint. You got a stick from the tree, and you took three plant fibers, and in the right game mode, you had this 4 box, and you could take 3 plant twines, 1, 2, 3, and make one of these 3 fibers and make a plant twine. Flaked flint, a stick. Don't need an item frame. Right. Now, there is a distinct difference between these 3 crafting tables. This, of course, we recognize as the crafting station. The crafting station came from the crafting table. This guy, the crafting table. This guy. 4 blocks, bang. You put your 4 blocks through, you made your table, you put it back in again, and it becomes the station. It becomes this. But there's a heck of a lot of difference between this. This is your Tinker's Construct crafting station. This is your Primal Tech or Primal Tech work stump. This is what you get to in your first age. To come out of the tutorial, you had to make the chopping block. You had to make put the chopping block with the piece of wood and make the stump. Then you come into age 1, which I guess we will call the Stone Age, or age 0, I'm sorry, age 0, which we'll call the Stone Age. In the Stone Age, you had Abyssal Craft, which is entering a Shoggoth lair, killing some Shoggoth, getting some stuff from the Shoggoths, and you also had to go to the Darklands to get a dark gem to complete this. You had to have the cook it up, and you had to have the forever fire, otherwise you weren't ever going to be able to do other stuff. By the way, this kiln works for so many things afterwards, and you'll want to continue to keep a hot grill going. Eventually you would put a cauldron down, and that's where the forever fire, the low grade charcoal block, is a great source of charcoal. How you would make it is you made your kiln, you took a block of wood, I think it has to be raw wood, as in you like this, just regular wood. Stick it on top of the kiln. Take a pair of fire sticks. Yeah. Take a pair of fire sticks. I have created fire, holding a fire stick in each hand. Fire stick was made very easily. It was just 2 sticks. And there you go. You would have a fire stick, a whittled fire stick. You would put one here. You'd make a second one. You would put one in your inventory. And then you would put them together. You'd hit them together and it would make a spark. When you do it, if you see the crosshairs against these backgrounds, see how the crosshairs is in that square, the little plus sign? Wherever you want to make your fire, you must have it specifically on the object, like the campfire or the grill or the kiln. And you're going to go through fire stick after fire stick after fire stick, because the kiln is only going to stay lit for a few minutes until you finally make your block of coal. Once you made your low-grade charcoal, dig down 2 underneath your kiln, place it down, get your fire sticks, flash that off, and in a few minutes I will show you the result. Because it will sit and it will burn. It was started here. It is still burning in age 1, age 2, age 3. It is called forever fire. It will not go out till you destroy the block. Don't pick it up in your hands. You will die. Right. You had to go in the dark lands biomes because you had to get dark wood. This is where I lost a game, because I didn't realize that the Antique Atlas, and yes, you need it. You need to go to the librarian. This is the tutorial. You don't necessarily need to go spearing fish. But if you wanted to do flint sharpening, you had to have flint. This was your mesh. So you had to get your work things. The purples, this is your goes to the next age. You'll have it in every age. See how we're doing this? And it goes through. In this you have to go through Abyssal Crafted and the Necronomicon of Abyssal Craft, or Abyssal Craft, and you have to make your little guy, your Shoggoth layer. This is your Shoggoth layer thing, and you have to get your Shoggoth stuff, and you have to make the little guy, and in the layer you find a lot of stone, and you set it all up because you have to charge this sucker. You have to go here because you have to get this. If you're going to go through and you're going to make this, you have to get it. However, you also have to get Aquamarine. This is actually an Aquamarine Stone, because you'll be going into something called Link to the Stars, Luminous Crafting Table, and in age 3, you go into, God, Stardust, Rock Crystal, Next Age, oh my giddy aunt, Resonating Wand, and you're in Astral Sorcery. And if you look, you have to go through Astral Sorcery in order to get the things, in order to make this to go to the next age. So it's all kind of interconnected. Plus, you do want to find your ores. You're going to want them. But we're back here. We have cooked all this stuff up. We have made things. We have a place to put our stuff. We have it your way, a wooden hopper or whopper. Little one, big one, holds hot stuff, and then you can make the melter base and the melter the top. Right. And you would go into the next age. The tables. The work stump is really interesting because unlike this, where I can go like this, and I could make a flint hatchet here, and you do see it on the table. That's not fair though, honestly. And oh, by the way, make sure you do it exactly as the recipe calls for. Twine flaked flint stick, especially if you're going to do it over here. So, twine, flaked flint. Yes, everything goes on the table. Stick. Now, everything is on the table. With an empty hand, grab your rock. And now, right-click the table. See how things are bouncing? Bingo. One hatchet. Ain't that lovely? Now I can go out there and, I don't know, chop some trees. All right, this is a 9, a standard crafting station. The crafting block, this guy, the crafting table, is the same 9. If you look at this, it's the same 9. They're relevant until you come over here. This ain't 9, folks. This is 25. I have yet to see the recipe that requires this table, but I do got it. And it starts out here with a, I'm sorry, well that's the luminous craft. It starts out here with a basic crafting table. You got to make these things. You have to have Stardust. You have to have your Astral Sorcery, or you can use Luminescence. Either or. Luminescence is glowstone. Oh, you have to have Stardust. Oh, you have to have gunpowder. Oh, you have to have redstone. Gunpowder, charcoal dust, and salt. And you can make it this way. Charcoal dust. In your millstone, put in some charcoal. Actual charcoal. It's got to be real charcoal. It can't be coal. It has to be charcoal. Let's see, the grindstone. No. Well, low-grade charcoal. We'll make 4 charcoals. Charcoal pieces. Lousy. Charcoal block. Charcoal block. If you're starting to notice a theme here, this age just ain't as, it ain't as simple. It ain't as straightforward. You are looking at low-grade charcoal. I told you that I would explain this. You're also looking at a stone grill. Stone grill isn't it? Well, I'm using this, looking at the stone grill. You would normally flash off this grill with your fire sticks. But if I get too close to this, I will catch fire. Once you, and you see where my crosshairs are? Once you put your fire sticks to it, it flashes off and it never stops. You have to break You have to break it. You literally have to break it to shut it off. And remember, this is 1, 2, so this would be a third one down. So you go 2 down from the item under which you are going to place it. Now, I prefer to keep these well sealed because they can get out of hand very quickly. Here's my kiln, and if you notice, you see a little bit of fire there. There's a block underneath it. You made your clay kiln. Your clay kiln was relatively easy to do. You go, you find clay, you put it in your crafting. You'll put it on your crafting stump. That's right. You are working with the stump. You don't have a crafting table. Do you see a crafting table here yet? All of this stuff that you see is made with the stump. Everything goes on the stump. So you would make your clay balls. You would make your slab of cobblestone. Slab of cobblestone is 3 cobblestone blocks in a row on the bottom, and you get X amount of slabs. And you place one down and you make your kiln. And underneath your kiln, you just start firing off your firing sticks until the kiln cooks. Right. Because then you're going to take your, well, let's look at it. Well, there's your charcoal. And this is how, see, in a coke oven, this would give you charcoal. Right. This doesn't show you how to do it any other way. Anyway, we're not looking at that. We're looking at 1 of 11. So here's your low-grade charcoal. In the kiln, any sort of wood. Stick it on top of the kiln. Sit there and fire the thing off until you make a block of low-grade charcoal. Stick that 2 down underneath. Let's step back. I'll show you here. See, this is the block 1. This is where my kiln is sitting. Block 2. You see the outline here of the block, and then you see I've come down. So 2 blocks down, there's your low-grade charcoal. You flash it off, and there you go. Like I said, you contain these because it just catches fire. One of the other things that you will make later on, let's see where you will make it. Probably in this age. Nope. In this age. What? Tell me the cauldron was made here. No, it was not. At a certain point, you will make a cauldron. You will need it. You actually need a cauldron is useful for so many things. Cauldron's kind of easy. Not this cauldron. This is a Minecraft cauldron. This is not what you're using. Not with Forever Fire. This, better with mods. and it is an unfired clay bowl. Simply put your clays, make your unfired clay bowl. I may actually have one of these sitting in my chests. Oh my giddy aunt. Then again, I may not. Not anymore. I had an unfired clay bowl at one point. That's an unfired clay barrel extension. But I don't have an unfired clay bowl. So basically, an unfired clay bowl. There's your clay. That's what it looks like when you mine it. Is it going to show me the stupid bowl? There's an unfired clay bucket. Basically, it's ceramics. But this is an unfired clay bowl. And I don't understand why I don't see it. Here it is. Just so that you see what it looks like. Well, you really don't see what it looks like because you can't place it down anywhere. Yeah, you can't. You have to right click to put things in the world, and you can't. But this is an unfired clay bowl. And you would basically take the clay bowl and you would bring it over here and you would stick it atop your clay kiln. Putting it on the clay kiln gives you a fired clay bowl. And once you've done that, you have a cauldron. Take your cauldron, find a good place, and this has started forest fires. I had trees here, and it is why I built this whole protective area for all my hot stuff. I had trees, and darned if the kiln that was bricked in, or somewhat bricked in, see, and here we go. Come back here. There's your block again. There's your fired off block. Now I can't leave this very long or it literally will escape. It has to be contained like this. It absolutely has to be contained like this. But this is your cauldron. You can take rotted flesh and make glue. Oops, wrong. 1, 2, 3. To make glue, right-click on the cauldron. Now there's the content. Put in your 3, and because it's got a forever fire going, it would just simply start to make your glue. There you go. It's showing the process of it cooking the glue. So, at a certain point, you'll want to make paper. You'll make a mulch. You'll hang it up on a drying rack. If you have, and oh, by the way, anything you hang up on the drying rack, it will show you the process of it drying. How much percentage it is drying. Right. It works for tanned leather. It works for paper. One of the other things that you see is over here. Is my pig still in here or is it dead? Oh my gosh, my pig is still alive. This is the horse grindstone. There's the grindstone. There's the press. The horse press. Basically, you put something in it. Oh, damn. You make sure that this is tethered. This is a lead. You make sure that your thing is tethered to it. You put something on it. You have to have something in your hand. that you want to press or grind. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Oh my God, I don't need that many. But you get the point. And then you break the thing. Oh God. So you can grind and you can press. Ordinarily you would use a horse. Had a horse. Had a dog. Dog killed the horse. Guess what happened to the dog? Yep. Dog meat. I threw it away. I just couldn't abide eating my own pet that killed my work animal. Ridiculous. Regular grindstone for horsepower will also, you can also put something on it and it will grind it up. Millstone. Put something in it and it will grind it up. Regular crafting table, chopping block. Put a piece of wood on your chopping block. Any piece of wood. Okay, it has to be a piece of regular wood, and you should be able to what in the heck? Okay, that's, so you have to right click it, chopping. You have to, I'm sorry, you have to left click. You have to attack it. And what you'll get is a chopping block. But I thought you could also put plank down. I really did. Yes, left clicking. Make sure you're not in creative when you do this, folks. And you can get an oak wood, you can get slab. You can get siding. This is how you do it old school. Okay then. Moving on. You had to have a place to put stuff? I've got one. They are the cutest things. Decided to make one. Look at that. All sorts of little interesting piece of paper, piece of glue, little chest, little flint hatchet. Right. You can't put 64 of them in, I don't think. I don't think it matters. Don't care about that. And, oh, I can always use some more of this. That's fine. They don't make a sound, but they're cute as the dickens. Now then, you do your whoppers because you're going to move into this. But before you get there, you're probably going to want to do a few more things. Like, if you noticed, Cookies isn't naked anymore. Cookies has on leather. Cookies has on treated, tanned leather. Tanned leather. Over here in leather, Cookies has this. Tanned leather pants, tanned leather tunic, tanned leather boots. You could make an Arctic jacket if you wanted to, but we end up in the cold. We end up in the cold, so this is boiled leather from Primal Core. And this is leather from Minecraft Stage 0. This is leather tunic, but this isn't tanned. This is just simple leather. And it will look basically like that. So, tanned leather, you had to get yourself one of these, a bladder. The bladder was easy to make. Bladder. Go get yourself an ink sac. Get yourself some plant twine. Brown dyed powder. Got a stone mill. Age 0, black, orange. Go pluck some plants. Black, red, black. Wither dust. Black ink sac. Ink sac. Grind that sucker. Or you can use black lotus. There are black lotus plants. You can grind an ink sac. That's fine. Or you can have an ink sac, but you're still going to have to make your brown powder. So you need 2 ink sacs. One becomes brown powder. One becomes yellow powder. Yellow powder. Look at this. Grindstone. Yellows, Australian, sunflowers, Sundance. There are a few of them. Teddy bear, dried, crocus, daffodil. All of these things are stuff that you will see. Narcissist, I think I've found. All of these are plants. And these plants are, quite literally, everywhere. Quite literally. Yellow crocus. Want yellow? There you go. And then you find the flower for your red. Don't forget, you need a red. Red dye flower. Desert stir pea, glorious lily, crimson gladiola, octilio. These are Ferdinand's flowers. Red freesia, red clover. I probably have something here that might pass. Devil's finger, Jesus. Oh, well, I just got an egg. Stinkhorn. Somewhere around here. Your ubiquitous poppy. Poppy might have been in there too. But anyway, the sun is coming up. As you go, you will have wanted to make a... Oh yes, by the way, something I found really good. You do want to do your leather rinse repeat. You want to make leather. You do. You want to make the wooden barrel. You do. So your wooden barrel is pretty simple. There's a wooden barrel. There's an oak barrel. Just planks of wood on your stump, and you've got a barrel. And you can take your bladder to the riverside and go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until you have filled your barrel. After that, you can use your barrel to use your bladder. And if you are in the right game mode, which I'm not, you will be doing all of your leather work here. You need a rawhide, salt, and you'll have salted hide, which you would then hang up. You got to let it to dry. I'm sorry, the salt, the hide, and water, and you would hang it up on the drying rack. And when you're done, then you would do your next thing, which would be to take resin. Resin comes from bark. This is your ground resin, primal core. There's your millstone. Oak bark. Put this and this together in here. A raw piece of wood, and this one thing that I said, make this, it's really handy. This guy right here, or should I say, working for the weekend, you'll want the work blade. This is the work blade. You want to make the work blade. The first thing you want to make is the work blade, because you use the work blade, you put a piece of wood, work blade, you'll get your bark, and then you can put your bark in your grindstone and you'll get ground resin. Any bark will do, doesn't matter. Gives you 2 ground resins. Sinuous resin is for something different. Sinuous Spore, it's a plant near lava, and for that you will have to go into the nether. You can't do that in the tutorial age. Sorry, folks. So, you put your resin, your filled water bladder, your salted hide. You now get a wet, tanned hide. Hang it back up on this, and when it dries, you have leather. Leather is what's going to make leather for leads. You need leather for leads. Leather for this. I'm sorry. L-E-A-D. To make the lead, you need to make cordage. To make cordage, you need to make leather strips. To do that, you need to use this blade. Take a piece of leather. Blade, leather, strips. Strips, lead. Lead, horse. Horse, grindstone, chopping block, horse press. See the progression? Yes. All of these things are necessary. Water wheel. You're going to want to do wheels on the bus. You're going to eventually also want to do knowledge of the wheel. Make a teepee. But one of the most important things that you can make is this bed boys. It's a sleeping mat. I love it. It's easy to make. This is it. But you need leather. And you need thatch. Thatch. Again, thatch. On the chopping block. Thatch. Dry thatching. Thatching. Thatching is something you have to put together. Thatch. You're going to get it from rush stems, dried swamp reed. We could have done it as rush stems though, couldn't we have? Here we go. This is fresh thatching. Rush stems. Rush plants. They're all over here. They are all over here. Of course, am I going to see any now? No. Am I going to see any now? Rush. Of course, I have no idea if I'm going to ever see rush here to show you. Here we go. This is rush right here. This is rushes. Collect your rushes. 4 rushes. Makes thatch. Thatch will have to be hung up. Thatch will have to be hung up on here to dry. Eventually you can process it. You can make this kind of thatch. You can put your leather on it, and what you get is, in regular Minecraft, you have to make a bed, and it makes a spot. It anchors you in the game. If you want to go sleep through to the morning, that's how you reset to get daylight, you have to take a bed. Problem is, every time you plunk down the bed anywhere in the game, it re-anchors you to, that's your spawn spot. Not with the bat, not with this, not with the sleeping mat. The sleeping mat is a to-go thing that allows you to put it down, sleep, you get morning. It does not reset your spawn point. It just allows you to do this, and you can only do this, I believe, with Primal Core. Finally, you've gone through, you've made your whoppers. You had to make your whoppers. Your wooden hoppers. Wooden hoppers. Are you okay? Fine. Right. Wooden hopper. See it? Or, oh, I'm sorry, it's not whopper. It's W-O-P-P-E-R, whopper. Because it's a wooden hopper. So this is the first one that you make in Primal Tech. And it's bark. Any old bark. Any bark. Cobwebs. 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 String. String. String is from fleece. Shears. Flint shears. Get yourself a set of flint shears. Go to your crafting stump, and it makes just like the regular shears you would start with in Minecraft, except that you're using flint in place of either ingot or wood. And you have flint shears. Go shear yourself some sheep. You'll get this lovely little ball of yarn. Put the yarn here, put the shears here, and you get string. Use your string, make yourself cobweb, and you start with this. You had to have a wooden hopper. You have to have a chest. Any chest. This was this. This is a place to put my things. Any plank of wood and a rock. And you have a place to put your things. Right. Basic chest. So you had to start here. Put your chest. Any planks of wood. Make this. Come in. Put this down. Put your bark over it. Put your cobweb. And to go up, you needed this. Okay, remember Abyssal Craft. If you want to have the flame grilled goodness, which you need to make the melter, you had to do Abyssal Craft and get a dark gem. So you had to do, hey dude, where's my biome? And you had to make Nature's Compass. Nature's Compass is kind of easy. Any sapling and any log of wood and a flake of bone. When you were making stuff, it's business time. Take a bone, take a bone in your hand, walk over to any kind of stone, cobble, doesn't matter. Bang it against, right click, right, see you can't do it with the hatchet, but right click, bang it against the stone, and you get a sharpened bone, and you get a bone flake. And that flake will be used here in your flaked bone. Your flaked bone is your little compass needle. So then you'll do your biome. You go to the Darklands. You'll get your dark wood. You'll get your, once you enter the Darklands, you'll get your Abyssal Craft Tome. Abyssal Craft is what you need to go into the Darklands to get the Dark Gem. You'll have to kill things in the dark, the shadow creatures, to get the Dark Gem. I have the book. It is sitting in my museum, which I have finally finished, on the bookshelf. I think that's the Abyssal Craft. Yeah, that's my Abyssal Craft book. Right. See, these are all the stuffs. All the stuffs. All sorts of stuff. I think I have to organize it a little better, but there you go. Quick visit to Sevtech of Ages Grand Gallery. Once you have made your flame-grilled goodness, it is time to go to the melter base. And the melter base is a porcelain, well, it's porcelain. Porcelain, you're not going to find the words melter base when you look up the recipe. You're going to find the words porcelain heater. You have to make porcelain brick. You have to find porcelain. Bone, clay, flint, porcelain. In the grinder, please. White dye powder, clay, flint, white dye powder. In the grindstone, any plant that is going to produce a white powder. Any plant. Absolutely any plant. On the kiln, unfired porcelain. There's your white dye powder, the clay, a piece of flint. It will give you unfired porcelain. You need several unfired porcelains. One unfired porcelain on this. You haven't made this yet, so you're going to sit it here, and you're going to have to make a porcelain brick. You will need 6 of them. You will need to make another stone grill. Rocks and stone. Take a piece of cobble, put it on top of the grill. The heck? Take a piece of cobble. Come on, man. Take a piece of cobble. Put it on top of your kiln. I'm not getting what I want here. And then you have stone. Make your grill. Put your grill into your recipe. Clay barrel extensions. Had to make a clay barrel first. The clay barrel extension is 6 pieces of clay brick, I believe. Clay barrel, unfired clay barrel, clay, like this. Make that. You want to make a clay barrel extension. Oh, God. An extension. Any kind of an extension. Fine. Notice this is talking about porcelain extension. Porcelain barrel, porcelain extension, white powder, porcelain barrel extension. Swear to bejeebers, you could make your porcelain barrel extension. better. Oh, here we go. Yeah, no. It was supposed to have been barrel extensions. You're making it with clay. Unfired clay barrel extension. Thank you. 6 clays. Makes 2 of these. Stick it on top of your kiln. And you get a baked barrel extension. Finally, you can make your melter. You can make your porcelain heater. 2 of these, so you're going to need 12 pieces of clay. You're going to make 2 of these barrel extensions, put your grill down. You're going to have needed 6 porcelain blocks. Bang! You now have this. You could do it with a furnace, but are you there yet? Not really. The next thing you have to have is the melter itself. There's your flame grilled whopper that you made. Your primal chest advanced. Yes. The primal chest, which is just this, the rock, okay. The primal chest advanced. The primal chest was this guy, a chest, simple chest. Put your simple chest in. Surround it with some planks, any kind of plank. And, oh, Darklands. Darklands wood. And that, folks, is why you had to have this. You had to go in there and you had to get Darkland wood, because you cannot make this without it. You have to make the storage upgrade, because if you don't make the storage upgrade, and if you notice along this, you're doing all this stuff. There's your primitive little chest. There's your upgrade. There's your whoppers. You're going to need to combine that to make the melter top. There's the melter. There's the primal chest advanced. You could do it this way, but are we there yet? Do we have a furnace yet? No, we don't. You have to have another stone grill. You're going to use your whopper. You're going to make your primal chest. You're going to put 6 more of these. You're going to make more of these. Then you're going to do this, and you will be in Age 2, the Bronze Age. And you will have this. Quickly, let's look at the Bronze Age. The Bronze Age is going to go into astral sorcery. In order to get up into the next age, you've got to make a coal engine. So you're going to do Tinker's Smeltery also. Anybody who's ever done Tinker's knows how to do the Smeltery Controller. Smeltery Controller means you make all your stations. You start making your nuggets, your casting things, so you can make Tinker's tools. And this is where you're going to start going. I'm sorry, did we have it over here? Yes, we did. I'm sorry, one more thing. Back in Age 1, which is the Bronze Age, in Age 1, you would have had a prospecting thing, prospecting rod, or dowsing rod. Here's your weak dowsing rod, sticks, and any kind of wood log. Bang! Weak dowsing rod. Weak dowsing rod will detect will detect down to level 40. So all of these are within its limit. And you need to find tin, you need to find copper, and you need to find coal, because that's the only thing that you can do to run this. This runs on solid fuel. There's my coal. Now I have some bronze here, which I made. It's 3 coppers to 1 tin, but you don't make it in this. You've moved into the new age, and you're going to make all mixed up, which is an alloy kiln. You're also going to make have had your prospecting. You're going to get these things. You also have to have a Plumb Bob. Yes. If you want to know your Y, your up and down, you have to have a Plumb Bob. Plumb Bob's pretty easy. A rock, bolt of string, spindle. Spindle is 3 sticks. Remember the string? Surround it with string. Do that twice. 2 bolts of string and a rock. And you have a plumb line, also known as a Plumb Bob. Plumb line will show you your depth. Now, you have gotten your coal, put it in. You have gotten copper. Now you're going to right click here. You can put your copper in here, and you could put your tin in here. And you're not going to be using, oh, by the way, here's another thing, and I need to switch game modes to show you this. All right. When we look at ore, this is what we're used to seeing. Sevtech of Ages has another take on it. Will it show me what I want to see? Here we go. This is called clusters. These are called samples. They're samples. I actually have a sample, which I discovered when I was up. Ooh, God. When I was up here, whiling around, I had a sample somewhere. Oh, I see something over here. This is an ore sample for teallite or iron. Yeah, there's iron underneath here at a certain level. With your dowsing rod, right-click it. Of course, if I do that, I just get a rock. So much for my teallite sample. Right-click it, and you will get the sample itself, and it will show you, and by the way, let's just put the rock down. So you also right-click with your dowsing rod on all the squares around it. And it should at some point tell you where your item was. I'm sorry, I kind of want to replace that. Thank you. All right. So that's the sample. And then this is what ores look like. They're called clusters. And when you go down into a mine, which we will look at in our next video, you have an amazing amount of stuff. It isn't just caving. We don't cave in Sevtech of Ages. We prospect. We dig down until we find it. As you go forward, you're going to find that you want to use the function 9 key on your computer. See these lines? They're indicating chunks. Hit function 9 again, and I'm right next to a wall. This is a chunk. It goes way up and it goes all the way down to bedrock. And what you do is you take your pick and you walk and you excavate out the entire chunk. Your entire chunk. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm not going through that just to get to the... You get the point. Then you go ham. The other thing is, when you're looking at this, cassiterite or teolite is tin. But notice it's located between the lowest end is Y8 and the highest end is Y68. Start at Y68, work your way down, bashing as you go. More than likely you will find it somewhere around the middle of your square. But if you don't find your edges first, you'll never find your mine. And you will find not just a few blocks, you will find it loaded with blocks that are sample or that are ore. They don't look like regular Minecraft. They just don't. You have to hit it twice to turn it all the way off. So, to make the bronze, you have to make the kiln, or the alloy. Oh, come on. Oh, it's a kiln. Okay, it is a kiln. Look for your kilns. Kiln brick. This is what you're going to do to make your alloy kiln. Kiln brick. Kiln brick. Make a brick. A brick is clay. Put a piece of clay on top of your kiln. Make bricks. Lots of bricks. 2 bricks. Red sandstone. Oh my God. Red sandstone. Red sandstone bricks. It'll accept any sandstone. So any sandstone and bricks. See how it's now changing? So you want any sandstone and bricks and you will get kiln brick. Arrange your kiln brick. Ooh, I'm about to get myself burnt. Arrange your kiln brick into a square, a block. If you notice, this says immersive engineering. So for this to work, you also have to have... Nope. The engineer's hammer. You have to have it. Piece of string, pair of copper ingots. You made those in your mighty melter, and 2 sticks. You're going to need the engineer's hammer because you're going to stack these up. You're just going to make a 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to take 8 of these, stack them up tightly, make this big block, right-click it with your engineer's hammer, and it becomes a kiln brick. Right-click on that, put in some coal, and it is 3 coppers, 1 tin, and you get bronze. And then you have your brain over bronze. At which point you start going into abyssal craft, because you have to go to the beneath. I have on my map, and by the way, plug for the map. Got to do a plug for the map. Back in here, you had to do lost but now found. Get the Antique Atlas map, because if you notice in my picture, what don't you see? Up in the right hand corner, you normally see in modded Minecraft journey map. It's annoying, but not with Primal Core. No, with Primal Core, you have to have the Antique Atlas. Put the Antique Atlas into your hands-on inventory. Now you see something. Right-click on it, and there is your map. This scrolls, folks. I lost a world because I didn't realize the stupid map scrolls. You know the advertisement for Almond Joy? Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, mounds don't, because sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. I lost a whole world because I could have found my way home on this map. How much of a nut do you think this cookie felt like? This cookie did not feel like a cookie with chips. It felt like a macadamia nut bar. Hey, I got class. I ain't into almonds. Macadamia nut cookie, man, I tell you what. So, I'm going to remove this, though. Oh, and the other nice thing is once you remove the book from your active inventory, the stupid map goes away and you can see everything. To do the map, you must go to a village. Happily, I have a village. Here's my village. It ain't very far away from my house. You go up to these guys, and you go up until you find one of them that's dressed in white. He isn't. He's just a villager. He's a fisherman. This is a fishing village, for crying out loud. Find the one that's dressed in white. He's a librarian. Do a trade with the librarian, and you'll get the atlas. Cartographer or librarian villager. Cartographers' huts will show up on maps, or you'll find them. They're just these little grass thatch huts, and there's a guy inside. Do the trade with him, and you get the atlas. The atlas is invaluable, folks. Otherwise, you are royally lost. Last but not least, you would think that this could be a place to put a sleeping mat. You would be wrong. You cannot sleep in this. You can only sleep at night. Oh, you can sleep in this. Oh, now I find out you can sleep in your teepee. Holy crap. And this would ground me. This would set my home spawn. Well, I'm in sevtech of Ages 3, and I just discovered that friggin' teepee has a purpose. Sleep in the teepee and you set your home spawn. Mark it on the map and you'll always find it anyway. Besides which, I'm going to put a bed over there in that house. Forget the teepee. So you can sleep in your teepee. Hoodalolly. Teepee. If you're going to set a home spawn, the teepee is one of your accomplishments. Teepee. Teepee. Oh, there's that rinse and repeat. There you have to have some leather and some sticks, and you got yourself a teepee. It's like a fancy bed. Jeepers. This is a long video, and my world of the day calleth. So, at this point, Cookies Through the Ages for sevtech of Ages, signing off. Ta-ta!